backdated. When you push back, you are backdated. You've not. They swapped. Swapping is supposed to be you move and something else comes. But not, it's backdated. It was backdated from Friday to Thursday. Okay. But even if they did, what time will it end? Depending with the weather. Okay. But anyway, there is a Friday. I don't know how many lessons we have. Is it just one? But that is enough because paper one doesn't have a lot. And already I shared with you. By now, someone should be experiencing some papers you borrow even from your friends in Form 3. Maybe some of you have your sisters or cousins who finished earlier. You have their files. So you can check the examples of papers from them. And of course, considering also the syllabus, what you've covered, then you see the expectation of what can be tested. As I shared already with you, what you've covered in functional writing, you know. What is close test? Close test is about your competence. If you're good enough, you read a lot of newspapers, you read a lot of storybooks, you know what the word classes are, the relationship. Then in question 3, if you have dealt very well with intonation, stress, you've dealt with silent letters, minimal pairs, those kind of stuff, and etiquette generally, you would be very familiar with how to handle. You know very well how to deal with interviews. We did interviews and speech. Speech, preparation for speech we never did. We did. I remember we learned something to do how to prepare for a speech. We did. So those areas. Then, which other? Yeah, we shared all that. Homonyms. Homonyms are very common. We've dealt with them. Or they are called homonyms or homophones, whichever. All that is the same. So it's about you to revise. So even our revision, just one lesson is enough. Depending on whether I'll find a paper also to print and just have it in groups. But the entire thing is when you are writing it, when you are finally sitting for that paper, that confidence. I don't know where people get exam fever from. I don't know. Because personally, I've never had any exam fever. You are either going to get it or not, depending on whether you are ready. So I don't see how you can have exam fever. But I had to fear when I was doing. That's why I didn't perform. Some cheat that they don't understand how to write. But when you look at the entire performance, out of 60 marks, if you are going to get 10 or 20, then you lie that the only problem is writing. That's a white lie. A big, big lie, right? Because that paper is 60 marks. Some people will be coming and saying, it's closed test. Closed test is 10 marks. Can that really affect you until you get 20 and something less? The minimum should be 30, at least if you are struggling. Because the level of you as students in this school is not that level of students who are really struggling a lot. You don't even, you are not kind of people who are struggling to understand English. So I don't expect you to. And again, the syllabus, the way we cover in this school, you can't say that you have a serious problem in a subject. So you'll see some people tomorrow, they are coming, their parents are asking them, why did you not perform, or what problem do you have? I don't understand English. Really? Like you started grade 1, primary, class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and your teachers have been teaching you in English up to now. And you are standing there, a full person, not a half or a quarter. And you are telling, I don't understand English. Seriously. Don't come with those excuses. Say, maybe I don't like that teacher. I would like that teacher to be changed. That's a genuine reason. We understand. Yeah, seriously. It is possible that because of the teacher who is teaching you, and you don't like, if continuously I'm the only teacher who has been dealing with you from one, and you don't like me, you will never perform, by the way. So if you don't like me, just say, mother, the problem is the teacher. When I see her, I can't perform. I'll not take it. I'll not take it on you. It is you are right to say actually that it's the teacher who is making you not to do well. If that is the situation. Or you say, I don't totally like English. I only like Kiswahili, and that's why I don't perform. So don't lie, because you people, you yourselves, why you are not performing. Or I don't read English totally, I take it for a joke. When the exam is coming, I just wait for the exam. That is very possible among most of you. Then maybe you talk about, maybe I wait to copy, because there are also those kind of students. They wait to copy, and because there's no opportunity in an exam to copy, they fail. That's another possibility. Those are very genuine reasons. But lying that I don't understand English, and yet you are speaking again in English, that's very funny, That's very funny. Because a subject you enjoy, and you like how the teacher teaches, you understand the teacher, there is no way you'll get, at least the minimum will be 50. Seriously, the minimum will be 50. And at least you'll be coming to consult also when you are stuck. If you really love the subject but it's giving you challenges. But because you don't like it, that's why you sit and say, si ameenda. Si amaliza ende. So that already, when you feel like that, it tells you either I don't like the subject or the teacher. And you can easily take 1 minute. Usisimame kwenye niko 10 minutes tunajieleza unafikiria nini? Mimi kama sipendi mtu kwa hii shule simpendi, full stop. So hakuna vile nitaanza kudanganya sijui naenda sako nataka nakuja hapa alafu nataka nipitie huko. For what? Just go straight to the point. 1 minute umetoka umeenda kwa next teacher. Hivyo. Academic day is not a day now to begin thinking. Ni kama unataka kuvuka mto upande mlima. No, it's a simple thing. It's even as easy as, will you be my Valentine? Yes or no is the answer. Okay? Yes or no is the answer. So just say it as simple as that. Don't go in circles. And then now you lay your strategy. At least from now, I'll be doing this. At least from now, So as simple as that. You write your miniscores, and now the real work is in class, by the way. The real work is not there. That is not only a formality the school does so that parents will not blame them in case you fail. The reason why academic clinics are done, do you know? It is simple. The school is trying to wash their hands. Unajua kunawa mikono? Yes. Mzazi ulikuja. Uliona mtoto wako huwa perform. Ulimsaidiaje? It is simple. That's why clinics are done. There's no other reason. The reason why they keep calling us in schools when our kids are there, that is the simple reason. So that when you go as a parent, umeona perform, what will you do with them? What will you advise them? So it's not a day you want to really waste a lot of time. The real work is in class, like now, like Friday, before the exam. That is the real work that is going to add value to you. Hujasoma fathers, swali la fathers limesetiwa na unasema, I don't understand how to answer paper 3. You know, I look at students and just say, this one. Yeah? Some of us went to schools which are just struggling. There was no even laboratory. You do the first experiment when you are going for exams and you pass. The books were not even there. You are supposed to buy. In fact, our time, like these fathers, you are supposed to buy yourself. And we did. In a day school, you walk to school, you come back from school. You know? Huwa naona wengine mnasema mmekunywa chai. Eti imemchoma sijama what? Something. Ati mmewhistle. In a day school, sometimes you wake up late, you will not take tea. And you go to school, day schools, hakuna chai. And you have to sit in class. Lunchtime, a person like me, I had a problem with beans and this sukadosh thing. I didn't like it. because it really hurts my stomach. But I could just but I could survive. I could sit, imagine, from morning to lunch sijakula because I'll take and give somebody. Why should I eat what will hurt me? Then I wait for evening. But I got a B+. Sasa wewe uko tu hapa, unatoka tu dorm, unakuja kama boss, unakaa lunch, mzazi eti hello, nitumie pocket money, anatuma 1000 pap. Alafu unasema eti siji umewhistle. Whistling 2 days or 3 will make you work more and score better. So I know you people can do very well if only you know what you have. You can do better by far because hakuna mtu hapa ni bunga, si ndio? Yes. Yeah, so don't waste time on that day. Unapanga line alafu kifika hapo tena unauma kucha, unafikiria, unataka kueleza why you don't like the subject, full stop. So at least now you know your problem, now begin solving it. But don't make your parent eti mama, si nilikuleta shule usome. Okay, so yesterday someone was supposed to tell us about Miss Mahmoud, the wrong choice she made and the consequence. Someone can do that very fast, then we move to the next question. What wrong choice did Miss Mahmoud take and what were the consequences on her? Yes. So Miss Mahmoud, when she is actually slapped by Tahir, she decides not to take it easy. She involuntarily hits him with the envelope opener and it slices his eyes. So once now Tahir loses those eyes, we see the consequence on Miss Mahmoud. And you have to give us the details that after Tahir comes back, he decides to retaliate again and he takes her to court, indicating that she had violated the Libyan culture during that Heritage Week. And based on her Arabic verdict, she's then operated her eye and she loses it. So she becomes also equally disabled, just like Tahir. So the consequence of her choice is actually negative. If the paragraph looks like it's a bit small, you must also relate with the fact that it happens because she had rejected a senior fella, Tahir, because when he asked for a tomato soup date, she said no to it, and he considered it sour. So check on that paragraph also and see what to award, though that is one of the smallest paragraphs we have on choices and consequences. I also told you that some of you might pick on the leader of Gambia. You might also pick on the leader of Zimbabwe, because you know the bomber decides to humiliate its people and embarrass them. And at the end of it, it affects the economy of his country. You know, a president whose economy is failing is a failure. So automatically, the people hate him as a result of that. Then give us the details about Melusi fighting hand in hand. Then the fact that when he forms NIP, they fight and he wins. But at the end of the day, he starts Kukurahundi and Mrambatsvina. The two rest down the economy as well as the lives. And at the end of the day, as we are told by Melusi, the country was so much dilapidated in a way that people could not even afford meals. When we look at the hotel where is it Chiminuka restaurant? And then there is another one also. There were two. One was in Harare, another one was elsewhere. So we see the Mponda. So in the two restaurants, generally we see that people are not even coming for meals. They are not paying. So which means the economy is low. And we are told by Malisu that even other organizations had tried to help. But because Boma was focused to make sure that the opposition, especially the Debele people, are low, the situation could not be served. So you realize Melusi hates him a lot and even is planning to finish him, as we see in the summit. And also there's that hatred. Citizens are supposed to love their president, but when they don't love him, there's a problem. Then you can talk about the same situation for Gambia and share with us. Then conclusion, we said it must be a kind of lesson or a demand or a proverb. You can use a proverb about what people should do so that they can be better. So each of them, if it has scored full, those are 12 marks, right? Then introduction 2, conclusion 2. If the conclusion is correct, and the conclusion should be a lesson. For example, every moment we get a chance to lead others or relate with others, we must do the best that will add value. Or you have a proverb that summarizes that overall, then you say something. So that under conclusion you say C is equal to 2. If it is not relevant or someone has repeated the question, then the conclusion is 0. If there is something but it's not very clear, it should be 1 mark. There is some sense in what you are reading. Can someone read an example so that we see whether it scores 2 or 1 somewhere? Anyone? Read whatever your colleague has written, yes.
We have encountered in further submission that choices have consequences. When Professor Karanja, Pastor Chemata, and it may agree to sustain us.
That one scores more for 1 because there is a more repetition, though you have now showed us the characters. Yes? Yours? Oh, yours did not answer that. Any other person? Any other example? All of you, people didn't write conclusions in their essays. Read yours, the one you have. There's no conclusion. Oh, why? Yours? Is it there? No. Why? We said very well in our example that we are supposed to finish with a conclusion. So your essay must be how many paragraphs? You people are lying. How many paragraphs? Yeah, 6. Paragraph 1, introduction. Paragraph 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the body paragraphs. Then paragraph 6 is the conclusive paragraph. And it must start with the transitional word overall, or in a nutshell, or in conclusion, or to conclude. Yeah. So total that, and then if someone has scored 10 up to 12 for the body paragraphs, the 4 paragraphs add up to 10 and above, then they can score language marks 4. Language marks will be 4. But if they have scored between 7 and 9, they have scored 3 language marks. Then if they have scored between 4 and 6, that is 2 marks. Below that, they have 1 mark for language. I hope you are getting. Yeah, those 4 paragraphs exclude conclusion and introduction. That is what determines how many marks you will score for language. It's not about the kind of language you are using. It's about how good your paragraphs are. So you total that out of 20, and that is how it's marked. So anytime you take your assessment, you will be seeing people marking like that. So when you see a pin, don't be surprised. It is possible that you have really struggled, but the points are not coming out clearly. If you see 2, it means you tried, but you never explored the background information fully. If you see full, it means you got all the marks. You did at the very best. If you see the introduction is scoring 0, it means you did not interpret the question. You see the conclusion is not scored, maybe you never gave us a lesson or a proverb to summarize your thought. But once you are able to really manipulate around the environment around that comfortably, then you will score well. Now you realize you really have to know that book fully. You have to internalize. You have to interpret that book and apply it to the characters and what have you. Now let's go to our next question, the problems faced by the 4 characters. And I think we discussed that in our daily analysis. Now, the introduction of that, you should tell us the 4 characters who are Kimani, Melusi, Chamaka, and who? Tahir, really face a lot of hurdles. So you are using other synonyms of the main words which the teacher has given you. They really experience a lot of hurdles in life that really trouble them. Any other word apart from the main words, problem, and what were the key words in the question? Problem and characters. So you just tell us that Kimani, now you know the characters themselves. So we expect you to tell us Melusi, Kimani, Tahir, and Chamaka encounter a lot of difficulties. In fact, even encounter is used, so face a lot of difficulties in fathers of nation because of their leaders or of their nations. So check if someone has used different words. But if they have repeated the same, unfortunately, I is 0. Yes, they are supposed to use other words. Not encounter, not problems, not 4 characters. Because now you are supposed to tell us who are they. So you mention the characters themselves. But if someone says the 4 characters, Kimani, blah, 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 and they have used other words, then they at least can score. All right, so can someone share with us the problem of Kimani? Which problem does Kimani experience? And I hope the topic sentence is Kimani faces a lot of challenges because of maybe Walomu. Now you tell us why, when, where, what. So can someone tell us the problem Kimani faces? I think this thing we had talked earlier, so someone can tell us. Anyone confident to share? All of you have written at least. So can someone share with us what you have? Yes.
Kimani Karanja suffer poor salary, demotion, loss of daughter and wife, as well as 6 months jail term. He told her daughter that since he started teaching, MPs earn less salaries than professors. Professors' earnings were taxable, but MPs' salaries were not taxable because they make laws that raise their income. Tuni borrowed his father a car, but the car was down again and had to fix it when he get his next salary. The next day, Tuni died in a road accident. Asia, his wife, told him that if he had enough money, Tuni will not die in the road accident. She told him to move to green pastures, but Kimani refused. After 6 months, Asia left to Alomu because he had asked her to marry him. Asia left Kimani because he did not have enough money, and if his car was real, Tuni will not die. She told him that Walomu had enough money. Asia left the following morning to Walomu. Karanja left and went to Walomu and told him that he had killed his wife. Walomu told him that old is gold. Karanja started fighting with MP Walom and he was taken to jail of assaulting an MP. He was jailed for 6 months and back in the university was demolished from full professor to senior lecturer.
Okay, let's appreciate that. That's a very good paragraph. Yeah, that deserves a full. It deserves a full because the first sentence has told us clearly there is demotion, there is loss of wife, there is loss of daughter, there is also poor salary. Those are the 4 major challenges Kimani experienced. And because it is just looking at problems, she has clearly written that. So check your paragraph if somebody did that and a word, whether it's 4, whether it's 3, or whether it is not 4, 3, 2, or 1, full, thin, or fair. They must bring out the 4 problems. And they must also have that connection brought out clearly. Now we can talk about the next sister here. What problems does he experience? Anyone to give us? Please, let's be quick so that by the end of the lesson we are through with that essay. Tahir? Participation is one of the key aspects in a lesson. When you are always inactive, there are high chances that the passive listener is not acquiring a lot in class. So try so much to be active. Yes. So you said Tahir loses a job, loses eyesight, and what? Lives a lonely life. Now tell us the background in the paragraph, maybe what should be included. What should be included? So you have to tell us that, in fact, because you are running from beginning to an end, you must start with, he studies where? Where did he study? Yeah, so he studies in Abdul whatever academy. Then his focus was on weaponry. Then when he furthered that in the university, his dream was to come and liberate Libya from the Americans. So he really had his dream realized when the Feast of Allah was established. And he worked so hard in the organization, only for one day for American to be bombed and the Feast of Allah be closed by the president. At the same time, it happens just when he has approached a lady, Mahmoud, and in the process of retaliation, once he was rejected, he loses his eye to a letter and opener. And then after surgery, he feels very depressed and he goes on to retaliate by taking Mahmoud to court. And this makes him more angry, and then he ends up not getting the happiness that pushes him away from wherever he's supposed to be staying and goes into a lonely life. So because you are looking at the problems, you must write like that in a series. So you check on that paragraph, see whether that person has done the same. So that is Tahir. Then we can talk about Melusi. Melusi, do you have anyone who can read the paragraph very fast? Then we finalize with Chamaka. Melusi? Hey, no one has written anything on Melusi. Yes? What has Melusi experienced as problems? Yes? Just share with us.
He lost his wife's visa. He was troubled to death by Nikurahuni. He was thrown out of the government when the leaders discovered he was a Mdembele. He lived in a slum of Harare when he had no income. He suffered from diabetes and he was depressed and lonely due to the death of his wife.
Yeah, so there are those 4 problems. Melusi is eliminated from his job by the bomber after trusting that independence will bring him a good life. He also loses his wife to what? To Gukurahundi after the bomber decides to retaliate on the Debele. He also loses his business in the slums where he used to stay. Then he loses his income and becomes a depressed individual. So you have also to give us the information around that. You will tell us about the fact that he fought with Smith, then independence comes, then Boma retaliates. So you give us that information, but at least you must bring out the 4 problems. Then Chamaka, anyone? What problems does Chamaka suffer? Yes. I hope you are looking at the paragraphs and giving full, fair, or theme, or narration, or unpointed. Yeah, share with us so that I go away.
Shamaka faced some problems whereby he was jailed for 3 weeks. Then he was in a road accident. Then he was banned from preaching, whereby Shamaka was driving carelessly, going to the opposite direction. And one day when he was passing to the road of believers, whereby he had found himself in a road accident whereby the engine of the car had broke. Then he was banned from preaching when he started talking bad about the president.
Yeah, so though the part of the vehicle, was the question about because of the nation or just suffering? Suffering, yeah. So the problem starts with the accident, loses his vehicle, which is mangled. Then it comes to when he is arrested and put in jail for 2 weeks. Then he's banned from preaching in his church inside Africa. And then you have to give us information around it. Then the conclusion should be, a nation is a mother. It is supposed to take good care of its people. Citizens should have happiness as a result of belonging to a given nation instead of suffering. So some such a statement. So have a nice academic day, and then Friday we can go through revision. Move or give me way.